How's it going today, guys? So today we're going to be talking about whether or not you can afford either the car you're currently driving or a car that you may be looking at, because I know that you, or I'm guessing that you, if you're a young person watching this video, you have a dream car in mind. And I'm sure there's someone out there who will extend you a line of credit and allow you to buy that car. But is that a good decision? In most cases, absolutely not. Now, I went through this myself. I bought a car that was not super expensive, but I ended up losing about $10,000 on a car in the course of 1 year due to depreciation, and I made the wonderful decision of driving two cars at once, because why have one car when you can have two? That was my whole mindset. It was a huge financial mistake. Cost me about $10,000. So I kind of want to give you guys an idea of what kind of car payment you can afford based on your income, all right? And there's a very practical model I want to teach you, and it's not one that I created myself. It came from interest.com. I'll link them up in the description as a source, that way you guys can check that out. But they have something called the 24-10 rule of buying a car, and we're going to talk more about that and how that would work in your situation and how you can crunch the numbers on this. But so we're going to kind of figure out what you could afford for a car, and we're going to look at the average numbers out there and get an idea of, can the average person afford the average car payment? So the average car payment out there, I believe it's $503 last time I checked, but we're going to use $500 a month as easy number's sake. That's the average car payment, $500 per month. Now the average salary, on the other hand, is $44,148 per year, all right? So could the average person earning the average salary of $44,148 afford a $500 a month car payment? So in order to answer this question, we're going to look at this 24-10 rule, and I'm going to explain it to you guys right now. I highly recommend you guys go to that site and bookmark this, or possibly write this down somewhere else for reference. That way you guys can look back to this if, number one, you're looking to buy a car, or number two, maybe a friend of yours is looking to buy a car and he asks you for your advice. Point them towards the 24-10 rule of buying a car. Number one, the 20 stands for a minimum of a 20% down payment on the car itself. So if you can't afford 20% down on that car, then you can't afford that car. Number two, 4 is a maximum of a 4-year term on that loan. Now you can go out there, you can get a 5-year term, you can get a 6-year term on your loan, but your best bet is to stick to 4 years, because if you can't pay it off in 4 years, then you probably are buying more car than you can afford. Now that 10 stands for 10%. So the total vehicle cost, and I'm not just talking about the monthly payment, I'm also talking about the insurance on that car. And maybe you're going to get, let's say, a car wash membership, because I have a car wash membership. It's like 30 bucks a month. Any of those expenses that are relevant or related to your car, that's what counts as your total vehicle cost. So that $500 a month is just for the car payment. You have to add on the insurance cost for that car, and maybe you're somebody who has a car wash membership. That all factors in to your total vehicle cost, and that should be less than or equal to 10% of your gross monthly income. Now that means your pre-tax monthly income. So just to refresh, guys, 20% down minimum, 4-year term maximum on that loan, and no more than 10% of your gross monthly income is the 24-10 rule of car buying. And I highly recommend that you guys follow this rule yourself to avoid buying a car that you just can't afford and being stuck with a car payment and ending up with no money because you're dumping all of your money into a depreciating asset known as a vehicle. All right, so let's go ahead and go over an example of this just to give you guys an idea. Let's say you have a $30,000 car. So first of all, we know we need to put 20% down minimum. Let's say we're going to do that. We put $6,000 down, which is our 20%, and we're going to get a 4-year loan on this car, because 4-year is the maximum term for a loan on a car following this rule. So $24,000 at 3% interest for 4 years gives you a car payment of $531 per month. That would be your payment on that car. And that's probably higher than what you guys are used to looking at, because most people factor in a 5 or 6 year term loan. So how much money would you need to be making to afford this car? So first of all, the $531 is just the payment. We also have to factor in car insurance. And I'm going to say $100 a month is your insurance, and that may be low. So you probably know what the insurance is on the car you're driving now. So if you guys are doing the numbers yourself, just use your own number, but understand that the more expensive a car is, in most cases it's going to be more expensive to insure that car. So let's say it's $100 a month to insure it, and this person doesn't have anything extra like a car wash membership or something like that. Their total vehicle cost is $631 a month, all right? Now, following the 24-10 rule, that your total vehicle cost can be no more than 10% of your gross monthly income. So if we multiply that by 10, that means you need $6,310 a month of gross income or pre-tax income in order to afford that $24,000 car. So it's a $30,000 car with $6,000 down, so a $24,000 loan. So what does that equal out to per year? That is $75,720 would need to be your salary in order to afford this car payment. All right, so let's think about this for a minute, okay? We just set up here that the average car payment is $500 a month, while the average salary is only $44,148 per year. This is not much more expensive, especially when you think about the fact that when you add on $100 for insurance, the average vehicle cost is probably around $600 or more depending on your insurance. And we know that the average salary is $44,148. That is a far cry from $75,720, which is the amount you would need to realistically afford that car payment, all right? So what that tells us is most people out there are buying much more car than they can reasonably afford. And as a result, they're dumping all kinds of money into this car and it becomes a money pit. And they have no money left over at the end of the month because they're putting 5 or 6 bills into their car. Now I want to go through a chart that I made just to give you guys a reference, all right? So over here, it would be your salary or what you make per year, and that is your car payment. So if you guys are looking at a car, and this is your total vehicle expenses, remember, so you have to include both your insurance and your car payment and any other expenses, which would factor into your total vehicle cost. So if your total vehicle cost was $200 per month, you would need to make $24,000 a year to afford that. For $300 a month, you would need $36,000. For $400 a month, you would need $48,000 of salary, okay? So we said right here the average salary is about $44,148 a year. That means the average person out there could realistically afford a car payment between $300 and $400 a month of your total vehicle expenses, so insurance plus the car payment actually. All right, so this is the problem we have of people spending way too much money on a car. Going forward, let's say you want a $500 total vehicle cost, you need to make $60,000. For $600, you need to make $72,000. For $700, you need $84,000 of gross income per year. For $800, you would need $96,000. For $900, you need $108,000. And if you wanted a $1,000 total vehicle cost, you would need to have a salary of $120,000 a year to realistically afford that car. Anyways, guys, that is all I got for this video. If you know someone who's about to buy a car, please send them this video so they can have their eyes open to this and hopefully not buy too much car. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to be notified of any future uploads. And as always, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video.